Is Xi Jinping's era as Chinese president drawing to a close? As his term unfolds, questions arise. Will he seek a third term, defying tradition? Or will China witness a leadership transition? Join us in this video as we explore what legacy will he leave and how might it impact the nation's trajectory. Corruption in China isn't always a new phenomenon, but has deep roots in its lengthy history. It's a multifaceted trouble with a tremendous effect on numerous components of Chinese society and politics. To understand its ancient context, we can hint its origins back to pivotal moments in Chinese history, inclusive of the First Sino-Japanese War, the Great Leap Forward, and the Cultural Revolution. In the overdue 19th century, for the duration of the First Sino-Japanese War, corruption reached alarming levels and had disastrous consequences. The notorious incident of sand being substituted for gunpowder in Chinese artillery shells is a glaring example of this. This exercise, fueled with the aid of bribery and dishonesty, substantially undermined the effectiveness of the Chinese Northern Fleet. This loss had far-reaching consequences for China's future, raising questions on the function of corruption performed in the kingdom's vulnerability at some stage in this era. The Great Leap Forward, a thorough marketing campaign initiated by Mao Zedong in the late 50s, was another duration marred through corruption. The impractical policies and distorted reporting of grain production figures to satisfy unrealistic goals led to Great Famine, purges, and violence. Government officials, along with excessive ranking figures like Defense Minister Peng Dehuai and Party Chairman Liu Shaoqi, faced imprisonment and physical abuse attributable to this systemic corruption. This length raises crucial questions on how corruption can be deeply intertwined with political ideologies and the results it has on each leader and the general populace. Even figures like Deng Xiaoping, who later performed a critical position in China's modernization, were not resistant to corruption-related purges. Despite his shifting dates with Mao, Deng confronted persecution at some stage in the tumultuous years of the Cultural Revolution, illustrating how corruption can be used as a device for political control and manipulation. This wealthy ancient context prompts us to reflect on the long-lasting impact of corruption on China's political and social landscape. How did those historic times of corruption affect China's trajectory and contemporary governance? What measures have been taken to deal with and mitigate corruption at some stage in the country's history? In what ways has China's enjoyment with corruption formed its cutting-edge technique to tackle this problem? Xi Jinping's ascension to strength in China marked a pivotal moment within the country's ongoing conflict against corruption. His sweeping anti-corruption campaign, initiated shortly after taking office, aimed to root out graft at all levels of the authorities. By 2017, over 100 senior Navy officials and probably thousands of government officers had already been removed from their positions. While this campaign is finished with excellent results in exposing and addressing corruption, it has also raised a chain of critical questions about its effect on China's political landscape and governance. The impact of Xi's anti-corruption drive, which is Xi's campaign, has absolutely sent shockwaves through the ranks of Chinese officers. But as with every bold enterprise, there are unintended results. Removing excessive ranking figures from their posts, specifically those inside the militia, has left a void in leadership. The query arises: has the anti-corruption marketing campaign inadvertently created a cadre of yes guys who can be extra cautious and much less likely to undertake the leadership's decisions? Another side effect of Xi's marketing campaign is the palpable weather of fear that permeates authorities in Navy circles. Officials are now acutely privy to the outcomes of corruption and are hesitant to move any moral limitations. The campaign's success in curtailing graft is undeniable, but has it additionally stifled innovation and open dialogue in the corridors of energy? How has the fear of investigation prompted choice-making at numerous stages of the presidency? His anti-corruption campaign demonstrates a challenging balancing act. On one hand, it's critical to maintain responsibility and weed out corruption that undermines acceptance as true within the government. But then again, it is crucial to ensure that such measures don't inadvertently result in a subculture of obedience at the cost of optimistic dissent. So how can China strike a balance between curbing corruption and fostering a culture of optimistic grievance and innovation? Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign is undeniably a big force for exchange in China. However, it's also one with complicated effects. As we compare the continued adventure of China's governance, those questions come to be important in informing how this marketing campaign is shaping the state's political and military panorama. In the shadowy realm of Chinese politics, the latest purges have raised eyebrows and cast a frightening pall over the nation's corridors of strength. The disappearance of excessive ranking officers, Considerably, the commander of the People's Liberation Army Rocket Force, Li Yuqiu, and his deputy, Liu Guangmin, has sent shockwaves throughout the kingdom. But what's extra alarming is the mysterious vanishing act of former deputy Xiang Xinchong and the abrupt disappearance of Defense Minister Li Shangfu quickly after his appointment. The most bewildering twist in this story is the ousting of Foreign Minister Shi Guang, who became sacked amid swirling rumors of a romantic affair that, in step with the government, may want to have endangered countrywide protection. This series of events has caused a cascade of implications, not simply inside the political and naval nation-states, but also within the hearts and minds of those operating within those institutions. These purges have ushered in a pervasive weather of fear and isolation inside the Chinese authorities. High-profile officers and their subordinates now stay below the constant shadow of uncertainty. The question that haunts them each day is, what actions would possibly draw the ire of President Xi Jinping and result in their very own unexpected and mysterious disappearance? The surroundings inside the corridors of electricity are annoying, stifling innovation and open talk. As individuals tiptoe around touchy topics, worry of even the slightest misstep. Opaque politics and public discontent. The opacity surrounding these purges has additionally sown seeds of discontent among a few of the public. In a society with strict control over records, the surprising vanishing of key figures raises questions on responsibility and the rule of thumb of law. What does this secretive exercise imply for China's recognition on the worldwide stage and the way it is perceived by millions of its citizens? The purges, to a degree, underscore the Chinese leadership's solution to maintain stability and uphold their vision of the kingdom. But they also beg the question, are those moves sincerely approximately safeguarding countrywide pastimes, or do they function as a method to quell dissent and remove potential rivals? The latest purges in China now not only have instant political implications, but additionally provide a deeper perception into the intricacies of Chinese politics and the evolving dynamics of energy. As the arena watches and speculates, the questions raised through those activities continue to be principal and know how the future trajectory of this rising global powerhouse. China, below the watchful gaze of President Xi Jinping, has launched into a journey of transformation and consolidation of energy. However, current activities have set the stage for a complicated narrative, one which recommends a pace-setter struggling to preserve consideration, a government paralyzed through fear, and an army in transition. These trends, now not simplest, have profound implications for China, but additionally reverberate throughout the global degree. At the heart of Xi's leadership lie simple symptoms of a frontrunner who seems to have lost acceptance as true within those around him. As purges and abrupt firings have turned out to be more common, a palpable sense of insecurity now grips those inside the better echelons of energy. How does this erosion of acceptance as true have an effect on the functioning of the Chinese government? China's political landscape is being formed by using micromanagement, as President Xi strives to hold a tight grip at the levers of power. The ecosystem is charged with apprehension, as officials tread carefully, conscious of drawing the ire of their leader. But what does this culture of worry suggest for powerful governance and open dialogue within the government? How might it affect the best of selection-making in a state known for its worldwide impact? Early purges appear to be focused on disloyal individuals who posed a danger to Xi's rule. However, recent firings within his own aid base raise questions about the vetting procedure for pinnacle positions inside the authorities. An essential aspect of Xi's leadership is his emphasis on retaining manipulation over key levers of energy. The Navy, particularly, has been the focus of his reforms, transitioning from a corruption-ridden employer to a contemporary force. Xi Jinping's management is a subject of profound hobby and scrutiny, now not simply within China, but across the globe. As we delve deeper into the results of his rule, it's clear that the complicated interaction among consideration, fear, and power dynamics will preserve to form China's political landscape and its function inside the worldwide area. Corruption has become a big problem in China's military and government, and it needs to be completely stopped. Even if people are loyal to Xi Jinping, they might still get removed from their positions because of corruption. The real question is not whether some corruption is okay, but how much of it Xi Jinping is willing to tolerate in his plan for China. As we await the unfolding chapters of this political saga, one thing is clear: Xi's time as Chinese president is a subject of global interest and speculation. What do you think about this? Let us know down below. And if you found this interesting, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more.